What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. So I want to ask something of the drill fans, right? Anybody that's a fan of drill music or who follow drill music in general. Do y'all think Chief Keef, aka Sosa, is jealous of the mainstream success that Lil Durk experienced before getting locked up? I believe he is, right? And I say this as a Southside Chicagoan, right? I'm talking about I didn't live when I was a shorty from like 7 to 11 years old. I lived probably a 3-minute drive away from the O. I was on 65th and Minerva, which is right by 64th and Ellis, aka Dro City. But Dro City was right up the street from the O. You know what I mean? I'm a Southside Chicago to the bone gristle. If you cut my arm right now, miles also fall out of it. But I do believe Keith got jealous of the success that Durk was able to attain. Why do I say that? As soon as Durk got locked up, and I want to say this too, because some of y'all going to say, well, Keith would never be jealous of Durk right now. He'll never be jealous because look at where Lil Durk is. Look where he at. He locked up. He facing life imprisonment. I'm talking about, is Keith jealous of where Lil Durk was at before getting locked up? Before he got locked up. Because as soon as Durk got locked up, I noticed something. Excuse me, y'all. I noticed something. I noticed as soon as Durk got locked up, like the day after he got locked up, Chief Keef went on his social media talking about, I'm the king of drill. I'm the king of drill. Posting something up, I'm the king of drill. And I'm like, what is that about? And I'm not the only one who saw that. Boona from Durk OTF camp, he saw that too. He didn't say no names, but he said, I see people talking about they the king of drill as soon as he get locked up. And some of y'all gonna say Sosa been saying that. No, Sosa was throwing shots at Durk. And y'all know he is. Because for some strange reason, there's been some tension from Durk and Keef ever since that situation happened in 2013 when they got into it. Right? Now, I think Durk moved past it. You feel me? Because Durk always performs for Nito and them type of songs at his shows all the time. But something about it, Keef don't like, it's something he don't like Durk, for real. You know what I'm saying? And so I do believe that Keef felt a way about Durk's success and how far he got. Because just think about it. Keef is the one that opened the floodgates on the Chicago drill scene, hands down. I will never dispute that. You feel me? My freshman year of college is when Keef blew, right? That's when Keef blew up my freshman year of college, 2011, 2012. 2012 really when Don't Like and all that stuff dropped, right? And that's when Keef took off. And I remember listening to that in the dorm room with my homeboy. And it was like right when D Gaines posted the video only had about 300 views at that point when we first saw it. And as soon as I heard the beat drop, I knew Keef and Young Chop was gone. I knew they were gone from the hood at that point, right? And Keef made songs that I love. Don't Like, Love, Sosa. That whole Finally Rich album is a masterpiece, right? Just full of bops, all that stuff we could dance to. I mean, I used to like Every Day is Halloween. I Don't Know Them. All that John Madden, all of them songs. 300, all them songs I used to like. For sure. I still like these songs. You feel me? Every Day. I still love these songs for real, for real. They Know. Keef, he was the one who broke down the barriers for it. Because honestly, before that, if you're not from Chicago, people probably even didn't know that Chicago was as gang infested as it is, because the other artists, Keef's predecessors in the mainstream rap world and from Chicago were conscious artists or artists that had consciousness to them. Common, Lupe Fiasco, and Kanye. And when people saw Keef and Durk and the whole 300 movement, they're like, oh, snap. I didn't know that was going on in Chicago. You know, unless you from the Midwest or you from Chicago like me, born and raised there. Like I told you, I'm so Chicago. If you cut me right now, my mouth also fall out my arm. Not blood. But anyway, yeah, so Keef got, popping. He had a debut album, Go Crazy and all of that. And after that, Keef went on a decline. And I'm not saying it to trash Sosa. I'm just being for real. He had some blips on the radar, like Earned It, Finito, Sosa Chamberlain. I like that joint. Text and all that type of stuff. He had some songs that were blips on the radar, but he was never able to maintain putting out hits like he did before he really got rich. You know what I'm saying? After he moved to moved to California, I think LA, his music was never the same for real. He started mumbling where you couldn't hear him. all that, you don't know what he was saying. It just sounded completely different. He tried out different flows that I think were not really that good. You know what I'm saying? And then Durk, on the other hand, Durk had a slow grind and rise. I remember when I'm a Hitter first was popping in Chicago. And what's that joint? Sneak Dissing. This is in the Facebook era, right? This is before Keef for real, right? But Keef was the one getting the outstanding views. Durk views were like, they was good, you know, but they weren't extraordinary. But I remember telling my homie, Lil Durk was gonna go the furthest out of all of them in the music industry because I knew he had a sound that would resonate to a wider audience of people. When I say a wider audience, I mean women too. Because he would use melodies in his music. And that's a way to get people to vibe to songs that's about violence that they normally wouldn't vibe to if you have melodies in it. Think about Country Grammar by Nelly. I'm going down, down, baby. Yo, street in the Range Rover, street sweeper, baby. Cocked, ready to let it go. To this day, people just now finding out he was talking about clearing out a whole block. For real. Like, people just found it out because he used a melody to trick people into singing it. You know, and Durk would do that. He would use, like, Traumatized. He would sing with melodies. And I mean, you knew what he was talking about, but he made it sound like, oh man, it sounded a little pleasant. And Durk had an appeal with girls. He would make songs like My Beyonce and, you know, all these different love songs like Summer Walker and all that he would do. And the difference is he do stuff like that. And girls really liked that stuff. And then they liked how he looked. And I heard it. Girls liked how Durk looked. And I would hear it just being around Chicago. Being, you know, in college and stuff around girls, you know? So he had a different appeal. And he could make real street gritty songs. He can make songs with melodies. He can make fun songs. That's why when people say King Von would have went further than Durk, I firmly disagree. Von was just too street oriented. Even songs he tried to make for girls, it didn't sound like it was for girls. It was too aggressive. And girls that are prissy and pristine, some of the girls I went to school with at Morgan Park High School, you had hood girls, girls in the middle, and girls that was pristine and real prissy. They not listening to Von talking about just shooting everybody and every op and F your N-word. They not doing that. But Durk can make up My Beyonce or something that they could vibe to, so I knew he would go the furthest out of everybody. And my homie could tell you, I said this back in 2013, before Durk was even anywhere close to big, right? And then over the years, Durk started to find his wave, his sound. He was doing different projects. He was consistent with projects, consistent with videos, consistent with music. Even when he probably wasn't even having money like this, just consistently doing different things, doing his own thing. You feel me? And even before the Drake cosign, Durk music was popping. Before the Drake, he was making great music before the Drake cosign. But the Drake cosign put a magnifying glass on him in a different way to where people started listening closely and then going back and like, yo, he been rapping. And then after he got the ball in his hands, when he got the basketball in his hands, he took it and ran with it when Drake put the spotlight on him. And after that, his run was long. He had a long, great run. For real, his run was longer than Keef's. His run at the top was longer than Keef's. And he got to a way bigger height in mainstream music than Keef ever attained. And I believe Keef feels a way about that. Y'all can call me crazy all you want to, because I know Sosa fans, they will ride and die for him. I'm from Chicago. People in Chicago are not playing no new Sosa like that. They not. They playing old Sosa. They ain't playing them new songs like, and I hate this. Some of y'all, I know some of y'all gonna hate to hear it. They not only them young kids, real core, super core fans playing that. People ain't playing new Sosa like that in Chicago. Because again, he be mumbling. It don't sound the same like that no more. It don't. You feel me? Now, Durk, on the other hand, Durk was getting spins. The radio wasn't playing new Keef. They was playing new Durk, though. Because it was undeniable, man. Dude was rapping. And again, you could say he in jail now, ha, 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 whatever you want to say. But he was going crazy. You feel me? And Keef's run was short. Now, the height of his run was big. But he never got as big as in the industry as Durk did in mainstream wise. He never got as big in the industry. Now, some of y'all gonna sit on here and say, Keef ain't never want to be that big mainstream. He just wanted to play video games. That's a lie. The lie detector test determined that was a lie. That's something people say when, you know, they have to cope with the fact that they never got as big as somebody else. I never wanted to go mainstream. That's a lie. That's like with Cat Williams. Because I'm going to say this too. People can be pioneers and open the doors for people. They can be pioneers and still be jealous of certain things. I believe Cat Williams is jealous of Cat Williams is jealous of Kevin Hart's success. Now, Cat is way funnier than Kevin, but he never was able to get that mainstream success because of how Cat be carrying himself, crashing out, all going off on everybody, right? And so he never got to that type of mainstream success that Kevin Hart attained, and I believe he did. And he's jealous of that. Y'all be believing these artists. I never wanted to get to be that big. Yes, you did. And I think Keef really wanted to get to that level that Durk got to, but he just didn't have the I don't think Keef had it to really keep going that long. When Keef got rich, I think all of that stuff got up out of him. He just was like, yo, he wasn't able to make the same music. Durk was able to get money and still be able to keep going. And his run was bigger than his, and Keef feel a way about Durk for that. That he got to a bigger height than he ever got, winning Grammys and all of that, and going crazy, going at award shows and big shows, making big money, and Keef wasn't able to get to that type of level. And I think he feel a way about it. You know, whether people like it or not. Even though Keef is a founder, I think he feel jealous.